Alright guys, Fula coming to you with another video. I hope all is well with y'all. So, I try not to look too much into the comments and stuff like that on the videos and what have you, the boxing videos. But sometimes, I find myself to look in the comments and stuff like that. But one thing I have to realize is that when you go back and forth with someone in the comment sections in things, and you know what it is already, it's not really good. It's not really doing you no benefit. So that's something I admit I need to work on. I'm not gonna even front. It's something that I really need to work on, and inshallah, I'm gonna work on it, and I'm gonna get past it. Sometimes the best response is no response at all. So I just gotta keep that kind of energy. But what I'm wanting to talk about really is that most Canelo fans are driven. Their fan, like their support and their diehard fanboyism, I should call it. It's not really based on the love for boxing. It's based on the love for his nationality. Because the thing is, if it was based on the love for boxing and just like the pure sport, then I would think that they would be challenging him to fight the upper echelon of fighters that are available and taking on all challenges. For example, like me, I do get excited seeing the fighters I like fighting, just being active. But my whole thing is I really want to see them fight the best so I can see if they are the best. Like the fighters like Devin Haney, the fighters like Demetrius Andrade, the fighters like Jaron Ennis, the fighters like Dimitri Bivol, the fighters like that, there's a big question mark on them because we don't know if they're the best. You know what I mean? But like me as a fan of the sport of boxing, I just want to see if they're the best. I want to see if they're the best. And, if they lose, if any one of those fighters lose, then, I'm still going to be a fan of them, But I think because, the fanboyism of Canelo fans, really, I think their fanboyism, they're indifferent to who Canelo fights. So, for example, Canelo can fight Rocky Fielding, who's tailor-made for him, just coming forward, not throwing no punches. He can fight Yildirim, tailor-made for him, coming forward, not throwing no punches. He can fight Liam Smith, and it's all good for them. They're happy at that. But the moment you ask him, well, why doesn't he fight, let's just say, why doesn't he fight Bivol since he moved up to 175, Then comes, who has Bivol fought? Bivol ain't nobody. Bivol hasn't done anything. He doesn't deserve a Canelo fight. Canelo is levels above him. Canelo will stop him. Canelo will all of that comes out. But, they don't want to see the fight. You know what I mean? They really don't want to see the fight. When you ask them, like, okay, well, why doesn't Canelo fight Benavidez? They'll use the same excuse, actually, that Canelo used. That, why would he fight Mexicans? And then they'll deflect and say, why doesn't such and such fight? Why doesn't Charlo fight Andrade then? Why do two Mexicans have to fight? They'll actually say that. These are actually the words of it. Now granted, I would love to see a Charlo Andrade fight. You know what I mean? Definitely want to see that fight. But, I mean, technically speaking, a fight that would be more realistic would be him and Canelo, since they're on the same streaming platform. But, Ask a Canelo fan about that fight, and then they go into a fit of rage. And I've been seeing the comments in the comment section, and they'll actually use like racist undertones to refer to Demetrius Andrade. They'll call him a boy. And if you don't know the history of the United States, the history is that when you call the black person a boy, that it was kind of like a disrespectful thing. It was very disrespectful for you to call like a grown black man a boy. And not to mention my own like track record, but the last person who called me a boy, he's not even talking anymore. He can't even talk right now. But that's neither here nor there. But anyhow, yeah, man, I just noticed that. I noticed that like a lot of the Canelo fans, I would say maybe 95% of them are really just based on nationality alone. I asked the Canelo fan who's Salvador Sanchez, and he didn't even know who that was. He didn't know who Salvador Sanchez was. And I'm like, okay, I see you're just a fan of Canelo. You're not a fan of boxing, right? So yeah, man, it's crazy though. It's crazy that most Canelo fans, they don't want to see the best fight the best fighters, because truthfully speaking, 168, as I said before, it's not really like a strong division as of right now. There aren't any really strong fighters at that division unless Dimitri Bivol decides he wants to move down and campaign at 168, which I believe he can make 168. I truly believe that 168 could be made. So yeah. The thing is too is I was writing on Twitter, and this is one thing I want to add about the Canelo fanboyism is that where I come from, like where I come from in Africa and where I also come from in over here, one thing about it is you have to have integrity, and you're judged by your character. You're judged by your actions and things like that. And certain things don't get a pass. And if you did do some like faulty stuff, like one of your homeboys is gonna come to the side and correct you and be like, nah man, you can't go out like that. You can't do that, bro. Like that's messed up. You can't move like that. Like, so someone's gonna correct you and what have you. Now, the whole thing with Canelo is like it is what it is. He got caught cheating. He got caught cheating twice. And so his fanboys, and I put this on Twitter. I actually I actually put that under one of Canelo's comments, because he's like, the secret to success is hard work. And then I put in the comment section, and PED tainted me too. And this fanboys just said, oh, get over it. It was certain years ago and things like that. One fanboy said, oh, he still punches hard. One fanboy said he only got caught cheating once. Well, I'm like, okay, well, the fact that he was caught cheating says something about his character, and that says a lot about how he is as a person too. It's not just about the sport. It just says what you're about as a person and how you move as a person. Like, I'm sorry to say it, but if Canelo was around me, like, I'm just being real, I would have to look at him sideways and I would have to keep my guard up. Like, okay, if that dude got caught cheating, like, what other slimy stuff will he do? And then if his fans support it, if his fans support that crap, then I'm like, okay, well, what kind of slimy stuff would they do? You know what I mean? And so, yeah. And the thing is, and this is my point about him cheating, this is my point. Boxing is already dangerous as it is. Boxing is a sport where you can lose your life without PEDs. You know, you can die. People have died in the ring. As a matter of fact, in the amateur ranks, just recently, a fighter from Jordan died. You know, may Allah have mercy on him, and may Allah forgive him for all his transgressions, and may Allah bless him with paradise. But yeah, that happened in the amateur rankings. So if you take PEDs, like you're trying to kill someone. You're really trying to murder someone. You know, you're not trying to box. You're trying to like actually kill someone in the ring. That's what you're trying to do. You know, so that's why I look at it as is that with Canelo, like, yeah, you're trying to kill someone, bro. You know, so I can't give you a pass for that. You know, same with Billy Joe Saunders. I can't give you a pass for PEDs. And then another thing is, you know, Canelo fans will try to deflect and say, well, Floyd got caught for PEDs. And I'm like, okay, bro, my thing is this. Until it comes out and until it's like proven that Floyd was on some PEDs or something, until it's proven, until there's evidence, until there's paperwork, until there's something, then he's innocent until proven guilty. And that's just it, man. That's just the way I look at it. You know, so yeah, like with Canelo fans, like they're cannibalistic. You know, you can't even say anything about him, because the thing is like if you say things about how he's moving and how he's moved in the past, you're automatically considered a race baiter. But you know, you call out other fighters too, like who are moving funny as well, regardless of race. You know, you do the same thing and you have the same energy. And I believe I've had the same energy, like thus far, for all these fighters who move funny. You know, yeah, every fighter who moves funny, regardless of like where you come from or regardless of what your nationality is. You know, I would like to think I call you out on it. You know, like for example with Tank, like that dude. To be honest, he's not disciplined. He's very undisciplined. He does stupid things outside of the ring. Instead of staying in the gym, he's everywhere else but the gym. So it's like, yeah. And I'm an Earl Spence fan. I'm definitely an Earl Spence fan. I like him. I mess with Earl Spence. But same thing with him. You know, he just be doing dumb stuff sometimes. Like that one time where he did the kiss with Yella BC, I'm like, yo, what you doing, bruh? Come on, chill the hell out. But yeah, I just call it how I see it with Canelo. So like, yeah, man, they're very cannibalistic. You know, but me, I'm gonna still hold the line down. I'm still gonna have my opinion. I'm still gonna stand on principles. You know, and I'm still going to stand on integrity with my platform. And that I would like to think that's my contribution to, you know, the sport of boxing. You know, it's just standing on integrity and just call it how I see it. Feel me? But anyhow, man, I just wanted to say that, you know, that the majority of Canelo fans are like 95% driven by nationalism rather than driven by, you know, the love of the sport of boxing. You know, to be honest, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna go out on the limb and say that, you know, I don't think they watch fights outside of Canelo. You know, me truthfully, personally speaking, I don't think they watch fights outside of him. You know. But anyway, it is what it is, you know. It is what it is, and all I can say is that if the Caleb Plant fight does get made, then hopefully, I'm hoping. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I really don't know if it's gonna happen, but I would like to see it happen. I would like to see like a co-main event, like a double header, where you have Canelo versus Caleb Plant, and then you have either Demetrius Andrade versus Triple G, or you have Demetrius Andrade versus Jamal Charlo. Because if they're gonna do a like a cross promotion, then they might as well put all the smoke out and just go ahead and have like crossovers from many different weight classes on the undercard or as a co-main event. But anyhow, man, that's all I got for now. I just want to get that off my chest, you know what I mean? And if y'all feel the same way, if you're, you know, a minority and you happen to be maybe, you know, from my neck of the woods or something like that, if you feel the same way, just leave some comments in the comment section and let's talk about it. All right, Fuller signing out. Njara.